What's up, everybody? My name is Nick, joined again by my co-host Matt. Welcome to For Bettor or Worse. First last episode, so we'll see how that goes. Gonna do a quick little retweet because that's always important.
Yeah, let's put these things where we need to put them real quick. This is exciting.
Yeah. Send in your questions. Let us know what you think. We're going to be going through every game. Some games more in depth than others, but a lot of baseball to talk about. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about last night? I mean, pretty fantastic.
It was a pretty good night. I only participated in Dinger Tuesday and went 4-0, which is pretty awesome. Dinger Tuesday is tough. You have a lot of good people putting some Dinger Tuesday cards out. The problem with Dinger Tuesday is that the average bettor can't put $25 on a home run for each game because that's like $300 they got to put down on just home runs. Where, I think it's fun and all cool to do the full card, but I think you should just pick your 3-4 spots, maybe 5 at max. And that way, you have the best chance of making some money, but you could also afford to do it. So, even if you just pick 1 or 2, have a day. It's fun. Get some free bets to use and things like that. But yeah, it was a good day. It was nice to be back on the horse per se after this little vacation. I'm driving home today, so did a lot of research this morning, doing the live show, and then I'll be driving like 6 hours to be back home for good. But you've been killing it too. So another good day, positive day for you. So
3-1-1. Giants.
That was a brutal ending last night for you.
Never bet run line. I got fancy with it. You just don't do it. It's never worth it. They kept in that one pitcher, Leon. I can never pronounce his name. Whatever. Nonetheless, he just blows 2 outs and then he walks 2 guys, gives up the single that gives up 1 run, walks another guy. Then they finally pull him with bases loaded, 2 outs. I'm like, Jesus.
I actually saw that. I think Mike Yastrzemski made an amazing catch to stop a double for the Giants. Like the Tigers were batting in the top of the 8th. Was that what it was when they scored?
Yeah.
And there's 1 out. He made a nice catch to make it 2 outs. I was like, oh, they're getting out of the inning. I turned the game off. And then I woke up and I was like,
gotta be you. Never turn off the game.
I was like, what the heck?
Honestly, I wish they scored 2 because then it would at least, I'm going to lose the run line, granted, unless there's a walk-off homer 2-run. But at least it gives me a chance to win the team total instead of having to push. Nonetheless, whatever. 3-1-1. That's 4 days in a row positive. So mad at myself for waiting so long to stop doing pitcher props. So stubborn. I'm such a stubborn person. The real thing about pitcher props is there's no more pitchers. So I really, that used to be a free strikeout. Great, except for like DeGrom, I never counted DeGrom and some of these other guys that did hit well for a pitcher at the very least. But yeah, that's.
Hey, find your angle, find the things you love to do, and stick with it. It's kind of hard to.
I love winning, so.
Well, saying it's so much harder to look at like 9 aspects and try to find the best value. I like to pick 3 or 4 different alleys to stay in.
Yeah,
kind of a deal.
The total bases and home runs.
Total bases, and then some sides. I don't really do full game totals a lot, So.
Yeah,
I'll do some first 5 stuff, or maybe I'll do like a full game side. But that's real. I stay in that little comfort zone, It's like me on the dance floor. I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I'll stay in my little box, No,
I don't know. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, what I saw you parlayed 3 of the home runs. What did that equal out? Plus 2,000 something?
Plus 4,000. Honestly, I just got really lazy because I posted it at I want to say 5:30, and I'm on vacation. I'm not trying to do stuff, and I just did it real quick. Hopped in, made the few bets, and then we were out to eat and stuff. So I wasn't trying to stay home and do what I usually do. Or I usually have those bets out at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So
it was plus 22,000 if you parlayed all four. I saw one person do it.
yeah, congrats to that guy. Whoever he is, you're chilling, brother. Congrats.
Yeah.
Another guy did it too. He said he was praying for an Ohtani home run. He didn't post his slip, but he said he did it all and did an RBI. And he's been pretty negative in my feed for the last couple of days, so good for him.
Yeah. Tell him to shove it. All right, respectfully.
Yeah.
So plenty to talk about today. Obviously, we have to go through every game.
15 of them.
For the picks for the death wheel. Is every team playing? We're missing one team. Two teams, I guess.
I think every team might be playing.
Yeah, every team.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
15 times 2, 30.
Yeah, 30 teams. So yeah. Everybody's playing.
A lot of day games too, so plenty to talk about. Great thing is we're live, so we can talk about these 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock games and not have any worries. Because I do like this first game overall. Brewers at Rays. Got a bullpen day for the Rays. Beeks is going to start for them, and then Lauer is for the Brewers. I have one play here, and it's Tampa team total over 4 minus 110. The Rays are a great team versus lefties, even though they're missing some key pieces overall. Lauer's given up 17 runs in the last 17.1 innings. And the Rays have hit that number 4 of the last 5 games overall. I mean, I think it's a great option over there. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on first 5 too. That's the other thing. The money line's like minus 140. It's not too appetizing, but what do you think on the team total in first 5 possibly?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. The Rays are the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're the 8th best team versus lefties as far as batting average is concerned. Again, lineup's a little wonky, but either way, I'm just not as impressed with the Brewers as I thought I was going to be going in the season. I was pretty high on them last year as like a dark horse deep playoff run team. And them and the White Sox, I'll say they're my 2 teams that I just kind of lost faith in. I think they need some help. The Brewers, they're good. They're a good baseball team. I just don't know if I like them at all.
Offensively, I feel like they're hot and cold.
Yeah.
Same thing with the White Sox. Like you one night obviously you saw it during the Blue Jays series. They turned it on, scored 10 one time, and they were up there 7-8, something like that the other time. And then, just a couple nights later, they scored 1 or 2, for the same kind of talent. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I also see in day games, Lauer's only played in 2 day games this season. He's got a 7.36 ERA. He's 0-1, 11 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, 3 home runs. So this guy doesn't really wake up. So yeah, if you're gonna bet something, I think the low total for a favored Rays team at home is pretty solid. Nice push potential as well. Yeah, I think the Rays are the side, however you want to play it in that game.
Yeah, the team total whole numbers are very important. I mean,
yeah,
it means all the difference, as you can see last night, right? Like if I had Giants 4.5, I'm dead. I get the nice push I've had 2 pushes in the last 4. I don't remember when the first one was, but the last 4 days overall, just on team totals. I'd much rather have my money back.
Yeah, I agree.
So it is important. Sometimes I like to take risks and maybe wait an inning, maybe wait 2 innings to try to get the lower overall number or shave off half a point at the very least. But it can bite you and you just miss out on the game altogether. But yeah, as far as the game, I'm picking the Rays to win. I'm not betting that overall just because it's not the best of lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think for the death wheel part, I'm definitely on the Rays here. Again, I just something about this Brewers team. I can't really put my finger on it. I just don't think they have it this year. Not saying the Rays do either, but the Rays and their bullpen games, they're very analytical, and a lot of people knock them for that, but um, I happen to think it's pretty useful. They made it to they've had some deep playoff runs the last couple of years. They know what they're doing. A lot of that has to do with these They like to play a lot of bullpen games more than most, and save some arms. So nothing unusual for them today. And Lauer looks like he's wakes up a little hungover sometimes. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, bullpen days are great, especially if you have a good bullpen. Like, it works out great.
exactly.
You keep guys fresh. You can plan based off the first, the next 3 to 4 guys in the lineup, whether they're lefties, righties, whatever, and kind of plan accordingly. But yeah, it all depends on if you have a good bullpen or not.
And the Rays do. So
yeah, exactly. But let's move on. Astros at Mets. You got Verlander versus Walker. Obviously, Astros dominated yesterday. I had them minus 118 money line. Easy play there.
For sure. If there was a side,
you got
definitely them.
Carrasco.
I will say it was 12 hits to 8 on the full game. I don't think it shouldn't have been as lopsided as it was. But at the end of the day, Carrasco. I got a lot of people saying, "Oh, like this is when they play a real team." Like this isn't like the Yankees Astros series was more playoff like than this one because Carrasco is not going to start a meaningful playoff game
if you're healthy.
Yeah. Either way, I think if we know we're not healthy, we're getting more arms at the deadline. I just don't see it. And we have McGill, Bassett, or Walker, who I like more than Carrasco anyway. So I knew it was a bad spot. It was a horrible line for the Astros. I was on that, and I, personally played the over 8, which barely hit after I thought it was going to early on. But yeah, I think that was the play there. Verlander on the mound tonight. I believe our buddy Capper Penguin's going to the game today, is what he told me. He's a Mets fan, so maybe that's good luck. But it's interesting. Verlander dominated the Yankees his last outing, pitched a lot, and then Walker's won his last 3 games for the Mets. Meanwhile, 2 of them were against the Marlins. I still think the Astros are the side here just because it's a cheap price with Verlander on the mound. But Walker's been very good, so it's tough for me. And the Mets have been one of the best bounce back teams all year, so it's tough. But it's tough to back versus Verlander.
I get it. You're delusional. Makes sense. Explains a lot. You love the Mets. That's fine. I'm going to use reason here. I like the Astros. No. This is a game I'm thinking about betting money line overall, especially if I can get it minus 120, minus 125. It's at minus 124 right now. The question is, Walker's always like I do feel like is a bounce back potential here. But Walker has always been so inconsistent as a pitcher in my mind. I feel like every time I bet him, he's either, every time I bet with him, he sucks. And every time I bet against him, he's
well,
a stud.
For my Mets fandom, bet the Astros.
Yeah. So as far as the game itself and for the death wheel, I'm taking the Astros. This is something I'm going to continue to look at. I am going to continue to look at for later today and possibly put out a money line bet. But for now, I'm going to hold off and just continue to look at it a little bit more and see what I think.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play a side here, again, it has to be the Astros. I also think I lean more towards the under. I think this is a lot more of a closer game where Walker holds it down for a bit. My only worry with Walker is he's really only faced the NL East, and this is a sick lineup that the Astros have. But he does throw splitters a lot, and he's got a pretty nasty one. And the Astros don't hit splitters very well at all. They don't see it often, and they don't hit it very well. Like Jordan has the lefty-righty matchup today, where I usually it's almost an automatic total bases bet for me. But the splitters just make me nervous. I think like it's not a bad bet to play Jordan given the odds, but I'm going to stay away for now. Come back to it in a bit and see what I like there.
Is it ever a bad bet to bet him? I mean, honestly,
No,
you always have a chance as long as he's, in the lineup.
I agree.
Clean up in that regard, but yeah. So I guess we're both coming back to that game later on just to check in and might put something out, obviously on our chalkboard and on Twitter as well. But next up, Pirates at Nationals. It's Keller versus Espino. Spelling error. There we go.
Espino.
Espino. Spelled it wrong. There we go. I don't care. I don't care about this game. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, Espino only pitches like one inning anyway.
Yeah.
He's pitched 5 innings his last 2 games, which is I think they're trying to use him because they've played a lot of games in a row. They've had a brutal schedule. I think they're using him more as a starter now just to save some arms. He was pretty good in his last start against the Rangers, and he was okay versus the Phillies. And other than that, it's just the 1 inning games that he's been decent in. He's really not bad at all. I don't know what he's going to do tonight, but yeah, I really could give 2 shits about this Pirates Nationals game.
Yeah. Any players you're looking at possibly playing or?
Juan Soto is a possible play for bases. He's 2 for 3 versus Keller, has great ISO numbers versus the pitches he shall see. The only problem with Soto ever playing him with bases, which is why I barely do, even though he's had more of an off year this year, he just walks so much. And there's nothing worse than having a total bases player that you have just walk like 2 or 3 times. It's very frustrating. He walks 13.2% of the time. No, 21% of the time he walks. That is a lot. Yeah. That's almost a guaranteed walk for an at-bat that I don't want to have.
But you can pitch around him. I mean, that's the real thing. You pitch around him, but you can't blame him either.
In years past, you couldn't pitch around him because, he had Bryce Harper, he had, Rendon, he had all these guys that were talented behind him. Now it's just him and, Nelson Cruz. So it's like you could easily pitch around him. And he's got a great eye. He doesn't really chase pitches, got great plate discipline. Take this as you will. Don't be shocked if he has a stud of a game, but, just a little weary of the walks for me. So
yeah. As far as the game, for the death wheel's sake, what are you going with?
You know what? Give me the Pirates.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, we are the same here.
What did the Pirate say on his 80th birthday?
No, I don't care. Oh, my God.
I'm AD. I'm 80? No, okay, sorry.
No, I get it. No, I definitely get it. I'm choosing to ignore you on purpose. I agree with you here as well, Pirates, but I'm not touching this game.
Yeah.
Strictly for the death wheel. A's at Yankees. Cole Irving up for the A's. And who's for the Yankees? Who do we got?
It's actually Tyon, is I believe how you say it.
Okay.
I don't know what nationality he is. Might be like French or something.
Maybe.
Either way.
As far as this game, again, not touching it. The A's actually have been semi-competitive in these games, which is surprising, and it's not. I mean, obviously the Yankees struggled versus the Astros, but that's the Astros, Even though they did squeak out 2 wins, they also, obviously got no hit and then no hit through 7. As far as for the death wheel, I'm taking the Yankees, obviously. but I'm not touching anything on this game overall. I just think there's better value elsewhere. Do you have any players you're looking at for this game? What do you think about for the game itself?
So Cole Irvin last year was one of the best pitchers at home in the entire league. That being said, on the road, he struggled. Don't know what that is about that Oakland air that he loves, but he loves it. He plays well in it. He's on the road in New York, which, small ballpark. That's a tough matchup. The Yankees don't really hit lefties too well, but, the Yankee Stadium, they also don't need to because they could hit fly balls for home runs. So it is what it is. The one interesting thing about the A's as well is that they're 25-51 in the season, right? The worst team in the league, I believe, just to double check. The worst team in the league, just double check. They're 8-28 at home. They're only 17-23 on the road, which is like somewhat competitive. There's, that's a big shift. Maybe they feel like their fans aren't booing them 24/7 when they play on the road, and that's what it is.
I was gonna say they like playing in front of people.
Yeah, yeah, because there's no one showing up to those home games whatsoever. But
I don't blame them either.
They do play well on the road, not well, but much better than home. But Irvin, I can't trust him on the road ever. And Stan has hit 4 home runs in his last 5 games. He's going to see a lot of fastballs, and he's got great ISO to them as well. I think I may play Stanton as a total bases play. That's probably my most confident total bases play so far if I do decide to play it. If you're watching it, feel free to dabble right now. I may make it official for the card in a bit, but I'm just waiting on some more things to see. But I like Stan a lot, and Stan alone can give me 3 RBIs for a Yankees win. So I'm not going to pick the A's in this game, but I'm not going to bet anything Yankees either, if that makes sense for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a gross game. And as far as the A's keeping competitive, yeah. So Yankees. Again, no differences so far, but we might have something here. Rangers at Royals, been a fun series to, at least if you're watching. I doubt many people are. But you have Dunning versus Greinke, and the weirdest guy in the MLB, obviously.
For sure.
Yeah, I love him though, as a person. There's something that I do want to look at. It's Rangers team total over 5. Little scary because it is 5. That being said, Greinke did have a solid start versus the A's. Okay. That's his first one after coming back from an injury. But before that, he gave up 19 runs in 18 innings. That's 4 starts. Their bullpen is 3rd worst with an ERA of 4.68. And the Rangers offense has been tearing it up, especially the last 3 games. Last 3 games, 24 runs. 24 runs the last 3 games. I mean, obviously cleared that 5 every single time. I mean, I have to go with the hot hand there.
Yeah.
Matchup, even odds, bad bullpen. I mean, there's just everything matching up on that. I thought about the over overall because Dunning hasn't been great either. But yeah.
You got to go. I think we're not going to be different. You got to go Rangers. If you think I'm betting the Royals ever, you're out of your mind. They're just not good at all. Greinke's 38 years old, coming back from injuries. Very hard to do when you're 30, let alone 38. I'm looking at his picture on ESPN right now. He looks like the guy who already said back in my day. And I'm just not sold on that at all. And I think, hey, I got to wake up, Nick. But I'm not going to play anything in that game as far as player props wise or anything like that. I do like your team total play. I think if there is a side here, you got to back the hot bats, which are the Rangers. Other than that, it's just a check on the scores app for me.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, do I trust the Rangers enough to bet a money line? Sure, but I think that runs will be scored overall.
Yeah.
Let's go right into the next one. Padres at D-backs.
Clevenger versus Bumgarner. It's an interesting game. I think Bumgarner sucks now. I don't know what it is. I used to love him so much. He's just one of those old guys, you know. He's not that old. He just feels like he's been in the league for 30 years. He's like Perry Ellis on Kansas, but like for baseball wise. He's only 32, but you feel like you've been talking about him for like 15 years. Yeah.
Oh God. I thought he was at least 35, 36.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he's a great pitcher, don't get me wrong, but I think he went through a die in Arizona. I mean, he's like, you know what? I had my playoff runs. Let me just tan or something over there. Whatever they do there. The Padres, I think, are a great team. I was looking at Luke Voit as a possible player prop, but nothing that to me really stands out. For me, it's a total fade of a game. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not touching the game overall. I know that the D-backs came back last game. I think they blew it. It was late. Real
late.
It
right now. The D-backs won in the 9th, 7-6.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to them. Do you have a pick for the death wheel?
I mean, it's brutal to come back after winning 6-0 and blowing it in the last 3 innings. This is gonna be one of the games that's gonna screw one of us. I think I'm gonna see. I can't even say it. I think I'm gonna back the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, great pick. I'm going Padres.
Yeah,
great pick.
I will say,
Matt.
When I lose, we got to be different at some point. Let me ride Madison Bumgarner.
You enjoy that. I will not.
I'm solely basing this play off the high of coming back from down 6-0 and winning and it carrying over to the next game. There's nothing else going into this at all.
Yeah. No way it doesn't piss off the Padres and, they just take it out on Bumgarner. That's impossible. But no, let's move on. Tigers at Giants. This is one of my favorite games for the day. Obviously, I got screwed yesterday with that run line, but that's what you get for betting run lines, as we talked about earlier. They're just stupid. Because, obviously the coach, pitching coach, whatever, didn't care yesterday that they gave up 1 run. They're still up 1. They just wanted to get out the inning. Doesn't matter if they gave up 1. Whatever. Let them keep pitching. So, but I had to push on the team total at 4 for the Giants after scoring 2 in the first inning. So that's a little annoying, but it's not a loss at the same time. I kind of like the Tigers.
Yeah, dude. Me too.
Yeah. Alex Wood is a lefty, and I've been talking about this because I've been targeting Tigers games recently, at least. They love lefties. I mean,
they do.
They're 6th in the league versus lefties.
Yep.
Hitting .264 currently, compared to like something in the teens for righties. It's a huge difference overall. Tigers team total over 3. This is my favorite play of the day so far.
I like it.
Might be more than 1 unit for me. I never put out more than 1 unit, but this might be more than 1 unit. It's over 3. They've hit that number 7 out of the last 9 games. I mean, just to give you an idea of how well they like lefties, Rondon yesterday, he gave up 7 hits. Rondon. I mean, and he's a much better pitcher than Alex Wood. I mean, I'm considering Tigers money line at plus 172 as far as value.
I mean, plus 1.5 is minus 120, which is, solid. Like that's, you get a whole run there. It's pretty solid. I love Javi Baez. This is interesting play. I might get crucified for this. Javi Baez, let me just go through this real quick. So Alex Wood has been iffy, like you said. Baez has had a hit in 5 of 6 games versus Alex Wood, with 1 double in each of his last 3 games. Now, this season, he's got a .217 batting average, I typed this out last night before last game ended, so it might be a little different than 217, but either way, it's around 217.
He has been heating up.
Horrible batting average, but he's batting 345 versus lefties this season. This is one of the reasons why I wanted the Mets to keep him, is because he's such a good lefty hitter. He's got great ISO to the top two pitches he'll see, and he's 5 for 13 versus Wood, which is 385. And I think it's a solid play.
What is he if he's batting 217 and 345 versus lefties? What is he hitting versus righties?
It's like 1 something.
Yeah, like 112 or something. Like Jesus,
it's pretty bad. I actually think I looked at. I almost threw up when I was typing it up. He's batting 175 versus righties.
Yeah, gross. But he's not facing a righty. Alex Wood, real quick. I didn't put this in earlier. Gave up 6. So this is the only question I have. Alex Wood, he's gonna be nice and rested because he gave up 6 runs in the first in 1 inning versus the Braves. That was on 45 pitches, and he usually goes 90 to 100. So he gave up 6, 4, 2, and that was versus the Braves, the Pirates, and the Royals in the last 3 games. He's got an ERA of 5.05, and he's 5-6 on the year. I just, he isn't that great, and obviously the real thing is he's a lefty. So team total Tigers over 3 -125. I love it. As far as the death wheel though, Matt, what do we got?
I know you do the opposite of what I play. If I do the Tigers, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'll just pick the Giants."
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Tigers.
Oh, you did it. You did it. Oh my gosh. Listen, I love Baez. Oh, this is so hard. Again, this is gonna be one of those ones that,
You wanted me to go first. I could have made it a lot easier, and you just went first. But no, completely.
No, I think this is so annoying to say. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. This is tough, dude. This is so tough.
I told you to write it up beforehand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Giants just to be different. Although I will shake your hand when the Tigers win.
And give me the 1.5.
Because you're far away, but virtually one of these.
Virtually. Let's roll through some of these. Orioles at Mariners. Voth versus Flexen.
I'm going Mariners. I'm not looking back.
Yeah, Mariners. I do like Flexen. Flexen first 5 would be the look if I had gun to the head, because that's just what he did last year. Flexen and Kikuchi, you just bet them first 5, and it usually be plus on the plus end as far as the run line. It was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah,
amazing. Braves at Phillies yesterday. Beautiful win by the Braves. After getting a little closer than I wanted, but a nice even plus 100 to get me a win. It's Wright versus Suarez. The Braves, yeah, I see your notes. Braves are 7th in the league in batting average versus lefties. I kind of trust.
I trust Kyle Wright.
Yeah, I trust Kyle Wright too. More than
I
Suarez.
think, and the Phillies are still without Harper, and they will be for a little bit. There's no way I could back them without him. I just can't. And
that was my thought yesterday. I mean, I don't know why they're. I mean,
it was because Wheeler was on the mound. Is basically why they had
exactly. Exactly.
But Morton was on the mound for the Braves. It's not like it was like a.
Well, he hasn't. He's been consistent recently, but if you look at his games, he did give up 4 runs, 5 games straight or something like that. But if
you look at Charlie Moore. If you don't think Charlie Moore woke up instead of playing the Phillies and Bryce Harper is on the mound, I'm looking right now. The one he gave up 4 runs was versus the Pirates. Yeah, that's bad. But it's 102 pitches. I don't know what he had 12 strikeouts though too. The other one was in Coors, which is not bad. They still won the game.
Yep.
Other one was against the Diamondbacks, which is probably his worst one. And then it was versus the Phillies when they had Harper. So
when they had Harper. Yeah, so that's I mean, don't have to convince me. I took Braves yesterday for a reason. I mean, you obviously had the value there.
we actually hit the Braves money line and Schwarber homered for the Phillies. So it was a good game.
Go ahead and type in Braves for me as well, because that's definitely the play. No Harper, I can't go Phillies.
There's no way.
Red Sox at Blue Jays. Obviously, the Red Sox blew it yesterday after coming back versus the Blue Jays. Everybody's on Tanner Hawk. Dude, I don't get it. Like, mind your business. Everybody needs to mind their business nowadays. Like, if he wants to not get vaccinated, whatever. Who cares? Yeah, he's their closer. Yeah, he can't go to the Blue Jays. But people were like, cut him. Okay, yeah, you're gonna cut him. That makes sense. You're an idiot.
Yeah, he can only not play in Toronto.
Yeah, I just like that got me.
The whole thing is stupid.
Like, yeah, whatever.
I'm not even
gonna get into it honestly, but it was just dumb. Pavetta versus Manoah. It should be a great game overall.
That's a great game.
Yeah, I think a great game to watch. As far as a side, I mean, both great pitchers. What's the over/under on that?
Probably pretty low, honestly. But
I looked at and I was like, all right, this is gonna need a deep dive as far as me looking at it overall, because they have been back and forth. I think it was 8.5.
It is 8.5.
Yeah. And that scares me at the same time, because the offenses alone, they're just so good. And it's just scary. Do you need me to go first? Well, do you have any player props or games or?
This is tough for me. I do love Bo Bichette versus Pavetta. He's 8 for 19 with 2 home runs versus Pavetta. That's a 4.21 average, which is very good. This is the toughest game on the board for me. I love both pitchers. Pavetta is probably my favorite pitcher for the Red Sox, and Manoah is easily my favorite pitcher for the Blue Jays. Love Vlad Jr., love Bichette. I love Devers. Yeah, this is a great game just from my baseball fandom perspective. The toughest one for me to pick a side on. You do have the Red Sox trying to avoid a sweep, but Manoah's like top 5 in Cy Young, so it should be tough. I think the Red Sox try to save face. They win this game and not get swept. That's where I'm going here.
Oh, I'm going with Blue Jays. So, there you go. Another difference. I mean, I just like Manoah overall.
I think he's the better pitcher in general for sure.
You don't have your closer, which does affect things overall, but as well as that, Duran's been a great leadoff for the Sox. Missing him as well. He's allergic to one of the things in the vaccine. So yeah, I mean, I'm
like, you should let him play. Like,
it's Canada, man. Those fucking Canadians.
Aren't they nice over there? Just like, oh yeah, and just like let them in.
Yeah, they're crazy. I don't care. I don't care about them. Twins at Guardians. Bundy versus Quadrille. Another game where I'm just like, they split it yesterday, obviously. There's something to be said about double headers. It's a lot of people have brought it up. The team that wins the first game usually loses the second game, and they usually split them. That's what I keep seeing. I obviously haven't tackled that because it's just like, I don't know. It's so weird because there's a couple like they change up lineups. You don't know if they'll care. I feel like you have to bet it after the first game, and then it's like a small window. Well, yeah. As far as the game itself, do you have any plays there? You gonna watch it? You even care at all?
Buxton's always a good look. I think I'm leaning the Twins here in general. I think Bundy's been pretty good. Quantrill's been good as well. It's one of those games, the pick'em game. I'm gonna lean the Twins just because I have more faith in their lineup than the Guardians. But the Guardians have been surprising, so it should be a good game to watch. This is just a coin flip for me, but I'm going to go with the Twins. just for the death wheel's sake. But that's basically it for me.
I agree with you as well. I actually like the Twins as well. It's Quadrille for me that I'm not a huge fan of. Not that I'm a Bundy fan either, but it is really a coin flip overall. I'm not touching the game as far as actually betting, but for the sake of the wheel, I'm going Twins as well. We have Marlins at Cardinals. Why don't you tell us about that? And if you have anything, got Sandy on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, anytime Sandy's on the mound, I think you kind of have to lean the Marlins in some way, even though the Cardinals are the better team. This is why you have these odds, though. It's just hard. Is Sandy, the bottom line is Sandy good enough to make them favorites versus the clearly superior team? If you're the Marlins, if you're betting this game, you can't go full game money line. You'd have to go first 5. But in no way, shape, or form am I betting the Marlins over the Cardinals, even if Sandy's in the mound. I just think the Cardinals at home are too good. Now I'm going to go with the Cardinals at plus money.
Okay. Fair enough. I like Sandy.
Well, it's basically what it is. It's the Cardinals versus Sandy.
Yeah. That being said, they're missing a. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're still missing a couple pieces on the Marlins.
I'm trying to see what the projected lineup is right now. Basically their full lineups there. Maybe missing 1 or 2 guys, maybe 1 guy.
Give me the Cardinals. I don't know what I'm thinking.
And they're plus money. It's very weird.
Give me the Cardinals.
I'm trying to look at the Cardinals are 24-15 at home. I just don't see why they're plus money. I understand. And the Marlins are – so, look, the Marlins are 19-16 at home, and they're 33-40 on the year. They're 14-24 on the road. That's not good. The Cardinals are 19-19 on the road, which is but they're 24-15 at home. So you have the Marlins who play worse on the road and the Cardinals who play better at home. They get Sandy out the game. You're getting plus money on them. I think you have to go Cardinals.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Reds at Cubs. Hunter Green versus Steele. I don't do pitcher props anymore, but Hunter Green's always tempting for me. As far as the game itself, I kind of like the Reds. What are your thoughts on the game? Got any pitcher props or
I got Kyle Farmer over 1.5 bases. He bats 393 versus lefties on the season. Got a terrific ISO to the pitches he'll see. And on the Cubs side, betting a home run on the Cubs side is just never a bad idea because Hunter Green's going to give up a couple moonshots. So if you're looking there, I think Ian Happ or Wilson Contreras are the 2 guys to target to hit home runs. Both of them have already hit a home run off of Green before. And both have good ISOs to at least 1 pitch. Not all around for me to trust their total bases. But if you want to sprinkle a home run in that game, it's going to be Wilson Contreras or Ian Happ. Going back to Kyle Farmer, dude has just been raking lefties. Like literally destroying lefties. Hits sliders versus lefties incredibly well. Just hoping they kind of move him up in the lineup and kind of have him batting where he should versus lefties. They have him at 5th right now, which is where he should be in a regular lineup. I like to personally, I'd switch him with like Drury or, someone up there and get him closer up because he just dominates lefties, and that's what you want in today's game. So as far as the side, I still don't have my mind made up yet, but I think there's some solid props to target on both sides.
Well, you just called yourself out there, so you're going first. I already know what I'm taking.
You're a big Hunter Green guy. Let me see.
Anyway, though?
I'm gonna go with the Cubs at home.
All right, Reds.
This game is just too whatever for me. I'm gonna stick with the Cubs.
Yeah, you can be whatevering when you eat a fucking hot ass pepper.
Whatever. Make that guy from Full House. Whatever. You ever see that guy? No.
Never really watched Full House.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yesterday.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Not in 2022. Urias versus Marquez, Dodgers at Rockies. I mean, what's up with the Dodgers right now?
There's no Mookie Betts. No Mookie, no Mojo.
Mm.
And this team just doesn't care. It's like,
oh, we'll make the playoffs. There's no worries. We'll figure it out then.
yeah. It's like also you're going to go through slumps. Like baseball's 162 games in the middle of June in Colorado. They're probably just having a good time. No one cares. They're going to make the playoffs. Don't go crazy. I hate people who are like, the Dodgers are not contenders. Like, shut up, dude.
I did say they were overrated a little while ago.
They are. I think they're overrated, but they're still overrated and nasty.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're not. They're on the top 15 teams, top 10 teams, for sure. Like no, not even thinking about it. But yeah, as far as a team, a little overrated. There was Rockies do have the best betting average versus lefties. I saw you write that there, 298.
That's really good.
They also have smashed at home. They're also super frustrating because I've seen a couple people bet their team total. I know earlier, maybe a series ago. When was it? I talked about it yesterday, but they were like, 1 for 11 for runners in scoring position. But at home, it's kind of a different animal, so it's something to look at. I was also looking at Dodger team total, but at the Rockies Stadium, it's always super inflated. It's 6.5. Granted, Marquez at home has given up 1, 4, 7, 3, 4, 6, 4. So that first game was versus the Dodgers, first game of the season. But I mean, he's going to give up half of them based off every other game in the year so far. He hasn't been sharp, very sharp. He's been a little bit better as of recent. So this is a game I'm going to look at a little bit more. I don't know. The over-under's at 11.5. It's just a little scary. Because I mean, they just haven't been. The Dodgers scored 0 last night. Like, I can't have that. That's for sure. Thoughts on the game? Winning the sweep, right?
I don't know actually. As far as for me, it's like the Rockies are the best team versus lefties, but Urias is a different kind of lefty. The Dodgers are avoiding the sweep. I'm still going to bet the Dodgers here. Urias is their go-to guy. Yeah, runs may be scored, but in cores, you got to trust that the Dodgers are going to bounce back and avoid a sweep. They don't lose a lot of games in a row as it is. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers, but, a little bit of a warning sign. I'm not going to play them officially at all, I don't think.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, especially at minus 188. I agree with you on the Dodgers. I think they have to – I mean, they got the guy they want on the mounds. Going up against Marquez, who hasn't looked sharp. They have to – they can't get swept. They just can't get swept. They can't get swept. Am I betting them? No. Do I think they could get swept? Yeah, obviously. They just lost 2 games for a reason. But, yeah. Last and final game for the day, White Sox at Angels. Who do we got pitching?
It's Michael Kopech versus Ohtani. That's who we got on the mound. I'm all Angels here. Ohtani's on a mission. One thing I've noticed is that the day before he pitches, he just hits moonshots. He did it last time. Did it yesterday as well. and he's going to pitch. He's in it for himself this season. He's like, you know what? I'm going to pitch like a monster, hit like a monster. If we could make the playoffs, it is what it is. I'll figure out my contract later. I think it's everything Angels today for me, just from a personal standpoint. But other than that, I'm really not touching any props or anything.
Okay. I'm going with the White Sox. As much as I don't trust the White Sox, I don't trust the Angels offense at all. Like it's just, they've been so inconsistent throughout the year. And then when Ohtani's pitching, I haven't looked at the stats, but I just feel like that's got to take some stuff out of you as far as hitting wise. Obviously the White Sox have a good pitcher as well on the mound. No problem with that. And they look good offensively yesterday. Plus 140 is not a bad value in my mind, but I don't trust either team as far as betting them. Like they've just been so inconsistent overall. I do see good value in the White Sox in a head-to-head, and I'll take the 1.5 points if I pull it out as well. But yeah, looking at our differences, I'm a little worried about my picks. Hope for a safe spot. Obviously, how it works, guys, is 1 point for favorites, 1.5 for underdogs. We will announce the results. Well, really, we can announce the results tonight. For every game we get right, there'll be a safe spot on the wheel. For every game we get wrong, there'll be something awful, absolutely awful. There will be a giveaway spot, which is nice for the viewer. But we got hot peppers, flamin' Mountain Dew. We got, I don't know what else I have. The one I have, the hot chip, and some other stuff as well. It's just awful stuff. But it should be funny at the very least, especially when Matt loses, because obviously we all know that's going to happen. It's no worries whatsoever.
We have 5 differences. So Padres at Diamondbacks. Nick has the Padres. I have the Diamondbacks. More just to avoid the sweep. I think most of my picks are just to avoid the sweep, just looking at this now with it in front of me.
Well, you also did a lot of home teams, and I did a lot of away teams.
Yeah, Tigers at Giants. Nick is on Tigers. I'm on the Giants. Although I do like the Tigers play. I pretty much just took the Giants to be different, and they're decent favorites. But I would not be surprised if the Tigers won, and I like that ballsy play. Team total was Nick's play as well, which I do like. Red Sox at Blue Jays. I'm on the Red Sox, again, to avoid the sweep, and Nick is on the Blue Jays. The Reds at the Cubs. Nick's on the Reds. I'm on the Cubs. That's just a whatever game for me. And then White Sox at Angels. I'm on the Angels. Nick's on the White Sox. Those are the 5 differences. Hope you guys enjoyed the live show. Went through a lot of stuff.
Thank you for all the questions you submitted. It's just been so great. I love all the questions. Wish there were none, but it's all good. We will have another show, obviously, on Friday with the Death Wheel. My mouth's already watering thinking about it. Got plenty of games for the day. Matt, you want to run down our picks real quick? I have Tigers team total over 3 at minus 125. I like the Rangers team total over 5 at plus 100. And Tampa Bay team total over 4 at minus 110. Hoping for some runs today, and those are the 3 teams I'm expecting to score. That is it for now as far as my end. I will continue to look at the slate and dive in and try to get them out as soon as possible. Matt, what else?
I'm definitely on Stanton bases versus Cole Irvin. I'm also on Javier Baez over 1.5 bases, which is plus 135 in the Tigers-Giants game. Just rakes lefties. Disclaimer, he may strike out 4 times. That's just what he does. He's good for like one of those every month.
Joey Gallo.
Yeah, he just swings at everything, which is what you want in a bases guy because he rarely walks ever.
Yeah.
But
All or nothing.
If you see on Twitter he struck out 4 times, listen, I gave you a warning, but you might smack 3 doubles. So you know what? We like those high risk, high reward. Great price at plus 135. And I'm also thinking about doing Bo Bichette versus Pivetta. And then Kyle Farmer over bases as well. So 4 guys on my total bases watch list. Probably playing all those, but may only put out 3 of them per se, or may go all 4, but that's it. Go back and rewatch the show if you just hopped in. Saw a couple guys just finally wake up, I guess. Go back in, look at the show, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Can't wait for another one. I like the live, I have to say.
Yeah. No, most definitely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you again on Friday. Deuces.